Hey ladies and gentlemen, Steven here from the channel Redolescence. I want to thank you all for tuning in once more. And today I am super excited to share with you guys my thoughts on a fragrance that recently came out. It has been reviewed by a few other fragrance reviewers. I'm happy to throw my 2 cents into the mix. And this one goes by the name Invictus Aqua by Paco Rabanne. So stay tuned. This fragrance was released in 2018. It is preceded by a few other fragrances. You have the original Invictus. They had a limited edition collector's version of that. There's also Invictus Intense. There's Invictus Aqua, which is this one, the 2016 release, which came out for the summer. It ended up being a limited edition. They took it off the shelves. A lot of people were up in arms about it because it was such a great fragrance, especially for the summer. It also got a lot of compliments, and I think you can tell that I wore a lot of it. And then this year in 2018, we have the introduction of a new version of Invictus Aqua. Now, a lot of people are debating whether or not it smells like the same thing, whether this one is a bit sweeter, whether the original was a bit more aquatic, or maybe they just smell exactly the same, but a different packaging, a different presentation. I'm happy to tell you what I think, but let's go ahead and start things off with the presentation. So the box for Invictus Aqua 2018 comes with this sleeve that goes right over the box. I always found these sleeves to be pretty cheesy, but I guess it's a nice way of knowing which fragrance you're purchasing, especially considering that this is a current formulation, let's say, of the original release just a couple years prior. Here we have the box, very similar to its predecessor, and as far as the bottle is concerned, similar shape and design as Invictus Aqua 2016, with the exception that this one has a blue to transparent glass as opposed to the white frosted glass of the original. It has a built-in sprayer, which works pretty well, a bit narrow if you ask me, but let's go ahead and continue with the smell. Now, as soon as you spray this on, you will be reminded of the Invictus Aqua that came out in 2016. I have been testing these two side by side for a very, very long time now. And what I can say is in the air, they both smell exactly the same. I think if there's somebody out there who really liked the original Invictus Aqua and is debating between purchasing an inflated version of the Invictus Aqua from 2016 online or buying this one at MSRP in the store, get the new one. There's no reason to spend $200, $300 on the original Invictus Aqua. In the air, they smell exactly the same. Now that brings the question, do they smell the same when you take like a close juxtaposition, a side by side? What I have to say is for the most part, yes. If there are differences, they're very minute. So much so that the average person really won't be able to tell the difference. Now, when I smelled them side by side, I'm trying to think of which one jogs my memory the best. And every single time I kept coming back to the one from 2016. So the fact that one of them was able to jog my memory a bit more strongly than the other one kind of conveys to me that yes, the original and the new one do smell just slightly, ever so slightly different from one another. If anything, the original is a bit more aquatic, and then this one is more of an emphasis on the original Invictus DNA, all the while still containing that aquatic, violet leaf, ambergris element to it. All in all, I think they're both wonderful. In terms of the smell, they are comparable, and I wouldn't say go out there and spend an arm and a leg for the original, which is now discontinued. Buy the new one. It's pretty much the same thing. Performance was also right on par with one another as well. So in terms of the smell, I know I've spent a bit too much time on comparisons. It opens up with this yuzu citrus opening that's very bright and effervescent, although the citrus doesn't come across loud and clear because you do have this sweetness in the dry down that's always vying for your attention. It's not as strong as the original Invictus DNA. A lot of people say it smells like bubblegum or juicy fruit, and I kind of get that, but it's much different in the Aqua version. Now, in terms of ambergris, of course, there's no real ambergris in this. Ambergris is super expensive, but they probably have the synthetic counterpart, which is known as ambroxan. Still incredibly pleasant. I feel a lot better about wearing ambroxan than I do ambergris because it is an animal note. Not to say that whales were harmed in the cultivation of ambergris, but I digress. In this one, it has that freshness, it has the violet leaf, which kind of adds more of like a clean feel to the fragrance. There's just something about the original Invictus Aqua that got me so many compliments, and that set me a bit on the edge. I said, am I going to get the same kind of compliments from this one? I wore it to work, first day, I get a compliment. So yes, this one will get you the same overwhelmingly positive attention. So I think it's a wonderful fragrance, perfect for the summer months. It has a bit of sweetness in it, but it has that aquatic nuance, even a bit salty at times. It has the violet, which cleans it up, and the citrus, which isn't immediately discernible, and it kind of gets muddled out when you take a look at the sweeter notes, which are always vying for your attention. In the dry down, you have the guaiac wood, you have the amber wood. Not quite sure how much it's contributing to the overall smell, but this is a solid release, and I hope this time it's a mainstay. I hope they don't do away with it after the end of the summer just to re-release it in the coming years. Wonderful scent. Keep it in the library. Let's go ahead and finish with my overall assessment. Now, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, obviously this is a re-release of one of its predecessors, so it's not unique. Overall smell is incredibly positive and pleasant, and it is one fragrance that is guaranteed to get you compliments. I've never gotten a negative reaction from this one. It just has that mass appeal factor to it. Longevity on this one was solid. I got 6 to 7 hours. Projection was about an hour to an hour and a half, and then when it dries down, it's still you can still smell it on yourself. It just doesn't have the radiance that it did in the opening with all of the citrus in it. In terms of the versatility, this one is best for the hotter months, but the sweetness makes it a bit more likable in the fall season too, when you're craving something that's a bit heavier, a bit sweet. But keep in mind the salty and the aquatic elements do fit best in the hotter months. In terms of occasions, this is definitely more on the casual side. If you want something that you can dress up, I would probably either go for the original Invictus or Invictus Intense. And anybody of any age can wear this, anybody of any sex can wear this, even though it's marketed for men. And in terms of the presentation, I kind of like the frosted glass appeal of the original. It made it look a bit more aquatic. This one, on the other hand, it has this blue color, which is similar to other fragrances that we've seen on shelves in the designer market. So I do like the presentation of the original a little bit better, but that's a minute factor to it. Overall, I love the smell. I really do. And that's because I love the smell of the 2016 version. There's just something about it that's very likable. My wife loves it. As often as I've worn it to work, I've gotten a ton of compliments wearing it. And now that my bottle is so close to running out, I'm definitely going to be using this one a lot more. So I want to thank you all for tuning in. And of course, I'm curious to know, what do you think of Invictus Aqua, either the 2016 version or this one? I would love to start a discussion, so leave a comment down below. Also, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel for future videos, top 10s, reviews, giveaways, unboxings, special guests, and a ton of other fragrance-related content. And remember to click on that bell icon so you can enable notifications. This way, whenever I do put out a new video, it will get delivered straight to your feed. You'll get that push notification on your phone so you don't miss any of my videos. And I do have a lot of really interesting content and giveaways coming up in the future, so definitely stay tuned for that. Once again, thank you for your viewership and thank you for tuning in. I love you guys, and we'll see you in the next episode. Take care.